The real now is enveloping the past and the future. The real now is beyond the timeline of the past and the future. There are actually two types of past and the future. One is mental past and future, where the average human being is caught up in the, we could say, in a time loop of past and future. So they're spending all their time in the past and future. But then there is the real past and future, which is the fourth dimensional timeline. And that is also happening in the now. The first, the mental past and future, is where a person is conditioned in unresolved or unprocessed past and being incapable to process the future because of lack of presence in the now, because of the lack of ability to stay in the now. So the past is only stuck because of unprocessed events which took place. And this usually happens through traumatic experiences. It happens through actually even very subtle events which took place in the childhood, in a teenagehood. And this is a very important period of life, because in the childhood, maybe a friend or another child made a negative remark, or they were bullying you, or some difficulties, emotional or physical difficulties were happening. And the child, of course, moves forward, but these events are registered in the subconsciousness and in the nervous system. So they were not processed. So these events were not processed fully, and the child obviously did not have a capacity to process them, to fully understand them. So this is why subconsciousness starts to accumulate the past events, and the nervous system gets triggered and keeps those events, or even blocks certain parts of the neuron flow because of these unprocessed events. So the past, in one way, it's already gone, but it's continuously being relived in the mind, subconsciousness, unconsciousness, and not only continuously relived, but it completely shapes your personality. So the past has completely shaped your personality. The past, which has been unprocessed, it has caused nearly all the troubles and problems in your life. So let's say you were a very courageous boy or girl in your childhood, and somebody made a very harsh remark or bullied you, and suddenly you became very shy and introverted because of that event. And since the childhood, you were continuing to be shy and introverted because something happened. So your whole life was affected by that, and that shyness made you doubt yourself. Are you good enough? Can you do this? And the personality then is wrapped around these past events. Then all kinds of disorders arise. Feeling lack of confidence, shyness, feeling incapable, having no courage, even having difficulty to trust others. So all of that happened because of these initial blockages, and they have shaped your personality and your psyche. So the past is being continuously relived in the present. And the future, of course, is so complicated because the past is unprocessed. So everything is mixed up. So a person lives in a continuous time loop of past and future, past and future. If we examine what is the future in the mind, it is also mainly past. It is worries of the future because there are blockages of the past. So most of the time, even the future ideas are actually the past anxieties. So the only scenario which a person can play in their mind is only based on the past experiences. So what is the way out of this time loop? Past and future, past and future. It is the present moment. It is the now. And start to bring your attention into the now. Because your attention and focus is mainly captivated unwillingly by the time loop of past and future. And I will repeat it again. Your attention is captivated in a time loop unwillingly by the unprocessed past, future, which is mainly the past actually. So even when one is thinking of the future, it's still in terms of the past. So the exit, the way out, is to start bringing your attention and focus on the present. That's how you're exiting the time loop, by bringing your attention and focus to the present. And what is present? If your mind is not present, then what is present? So what is present? Simply your body. Your body is present. Now we can meet many people who are having such a hard time to actually even just connect with the body. You know, there's so much in their minds that they can't even feel their body. Their body is too stressed to feel the body. So even the body is now completely absorbed or completely drained by the mental energy of past and future. The body becomes stressed. The body becomes anxious. The body feels tired constantly because the mental energy is taking the energy out of the body. So the first step out of the time loop is to come back to the body, because the body is always here, always now. And the best place to put your attention and focus is on your breath, because that calms down the mind. When you feel your breath, naturally you shift away from your thoughts, and very naturally you connect with the body. So that's where meditation begins. And this is the very basic meditation, the very first meditation that everybody starts with. So the time loop is past and future. The exit out of it is the present moment, and particularly to start focusing on the body. Because if the attention and focus is focused on objects, external objects, it's still going to be captivated mentally by them. So the way out is not only the present moment as such, it's your body, your own body. Because that's where the mental energy starts to become manageable. So your body is always in the now. Your breath is the doorway to the now. So this bringing your attention and focus to your breath actually starts to relax attention and focus from being captivated by external objects, including the thoughts about past and future. These are still objects, mental energies. So bringing your attention to your breath starts to relax your attention and focus. It starts to release the tensions of the past and future. The second step is to further expand to feel the space around your breath, so that you start relaxing more your attention and focus. The mechanism of attention and focus is the key to your freedom. It's the key to deprogram and to process all the past and all the future. Now, many times I say, let's heal the future. Let's heal the future. And suddenly everybody's like, oh, how do we do that? How do we heal the future? We heal the future by healing the present and the past, so that you don't need to relive the past in your future. So that's why healing the future is healing the present, healing the past, and that liberates you into the freedom of the present. So for majority of humanity, the future is pre-programmed. The future is pre-programmed, and the future is completely habituated. From the morning they wake up to the cup of coffee, brushing their teeth, going out, driving to their job, 9 hours, back, watching movie, sleep. Every day. Weekends, a bit of time for shopping, meeting friends. That's how life goes. So for majority of humanity, it's a pre-programmed, habituated reality. So little is experienced of the beauty, richness, fullness, abundance, and love of the now. Because it's all shadowed by habituated programming. What is a habit? It's a pre-programmed action. So certain things are, we could say, are okay to be pre-programmed, like knowing how to brush your teeth, knowing how to make your cup of tea or coffee very quickly. But eventually and essentially, you have to also deprogram even the very basic functions of your body. You have to deprogram and dehabituate them so that you truly stay in the now. And only then the fullness and the richness of the now can be experienced. It is also not to be confused with mindfulness, which tells, be more mindful as you pick up your tea, as you make your coffee. Mindfulness implies having your attention focus on what you are doing. The real now is far, far bigger and far, far deeper because it's boundless. You don't need to focus on what you are doing. You need to be boundlessly in the now, and everything is going to happen because there is a capacity and intelligence for everything to happen. So as there is a saying that the train has a course and you don't need to carry a luggage on your head sitting in the train. So when you are in the now, everything has its own course and you don't need to put any effort, relatively speaking, because effort is only needed to deprogram what has been pre-programmed. There is no effort to live in the now. And by the way, is anybody making any effort to be in the now, right now? So you can make only effort to decondition your being in the now, but you are already in the now. You need only effort to decondition your focus and your attention, but absolutely speaking, you are already in the now. But your focus is always somewhere else, somewhere attached, somewhere absorbed, somewhere lost, somewhere found, somewhere certain, somewhere anxious, somewhere else, involved, absorbed into something. So that is the problem of your attention and focus, which creates all kinds of psychological and subconscious and even unconscious locks. It's a mechanism, remember that. Just like the mechanism of a manual watch, like Big Bang, you know? It has a mechanism with all the gears, and they're all interlocked. So the same way, the mechanism of attention and focus, it interlocks your subconscious, unconscious, and even your conscious attention and focus. And everything is interlocked, interwound, conditioned. So the way out of this time loop in which everybody is living, and the way out to liberate your attention and focus into the boundless now, which already is existing right here, right now, is to start bringing your attention and focus to your body, to your breath, to the space around your breath, and start noticing what it is involved with, to start to decondition the involvement of your attention and focus. Now there are hundreds of types of meditations, and we've tried them all already. And every meditation has a specific purpose, a specific use to it. And every meditation has a specific purpose at specific time, at a specific level of consciousness, in order to be effective. This is very important. Otherwise, you will practice something that will not help you. Otherwise, you will practice something that is gonna take a lot of time and bring no results. So if you practice something that is exactly needed right now, that is the highway to freedom. To practice exactly what is needed right now. Tomorrow, it's a new day. Next week, it's a new week. Next month, it's a next month. We have a rule of non-camping to progress forward. So because deconditioning requires always a deeper practice, always a deeper insight. So past and future. Now we have overviewed the past and future as a mechanism of interlocked, contracted attention and focus and unprocessed experiences of the past, which are 96% shaping your future for the average human being. So everybody is basically stuck in the past. Like if we have a real overview, everybody is totally stuck in the past. The inner past and future mechanism. And then past and future, yes, it exists as a fourth dimensional energy stream of timeline. But once one has a perception of 5D and above, even that is quite illusionary in its nature. Even the linear time itself. Time actually is not linear. The past and future is only linear to the extent of conditioning. And when people ask a question of what is my destiny, well, for the average human person, it's very easy to predict. Because it's so habituated, it's so conditional. So the mathematical formulas become very effective. But for those who come into awakening their consciousness, the destiny is being created from the present moment. The destiny is being created. It's being lived and created. From a higher point of view, the time is not linear in a very crudified way. It's actually the way that actually reality and evolution works is more like a vortex. It's not a river, it's not a line, it's actually a vortex. But it's a very big vortex, and the average human person, when they look back to the past and look back to the future, it seems like a line. But in reality, it's a vortex of evolution. This is how evolution is really happening. The speed of evolution, you are choosing every moment yourself. How quickly you want to advance in your own evolution. You should never wait for the wall to change, because you will have to wait a long, long time. And that's not how it happens actually. The wall changes by you changing, by people changing. This is how we change what we call the world. The earth is fine. The world is, or civilization, let's be more precise. So civilization will change by changing consciousness of those who live there. So if you wait, well, it's a pre-programmed, habituated mechanism. And it doesn't have any actual good course if it's completely, if everybody just waits and see what happens. Now I imagine everybody would sit and wait, let's see what happens. Well, conditioning is gonna play out its role. Everything is gonna be conditioned. And it's just gonna get worse because it's a mechanism of conditioning. So we change things only by becoming more conscious and returning to the now. That's how we change civilization. What I call the collective mass consciousness. And by changing that, then the collective thoughts change, collective feelings change, collective actions change, and the civilization materializes in a new way. So this is how the real change happens. So reality is not linear, but it seems only to the one who is habituated and has a very short span of awareness to see only this and only that as a one line. It is actually a vortex, and you choose your own speed. The speed is determined by your vibration right now. The speed is determined by your determination of change. The speed is determined by your capacity to manage yourself. The speed of your evolution is determined by you knowing to do what is right now, and by that I mean your internal practice, to do your internal practice, to do the right practice, and not to camp on it either, because very soon you will need another practice. This is what determines the speed of your evolution. Evolution is internal, external as well, because the internal evolution manifests external life, which we call life cycle manifestation. So by the speed of your internal evolution, you are rewiring and reprogramming and changing everything to be manifested differently in your external life. And those who experience awakening of consciousness know that to be true, and everything aligns to a higher vibration. So past and future, and it's not even linear, and it's actually a vortex of evolution that you choose your own speed. So now you will come to realize that you are the creator of your reality after all. The only reason why you don't believe in this or why it doesn't work is because you need to learn how to do that. Simple. You just need to learn, practice, become better of how to evolve and how to awaken your consciousness. And this is where my purpose comes in, to simply explain nothing new, is to simply explain how it works already. It's nothing new I'm saying right now. I'm just explaining how it works already. But perhaps it was not known because it was not conscious yet. So my purpose is to simply explain how it works already. And that, as there's a saying, the truth sets you free. The truth liberates you. The truth and awareness illuminates what was not seen, what was unconscious, subconscious, hidden in the dark places, shoveled in the past, being afraid to be looked at. And all of these actions have actually disempowered you from living fully in the now, with love, with happiness, peace, power, strength, capacity to enjoy the now boundlessly. So you are the creator of your own reality, but you have been disempowered and you have not been informed that you are the creator of your reality. Nobody told you that before when you were born, that hey, you are the creator, and the power was taken away from you and pre-programmed, conditioned so that it fits into the agenda of the mass government, society, economics, politics, and all other systems. You need only what is effective right now. You don't need a lot. You need only what you need right now.
We don't need to think.
You don't need much. You need only what you need right now. Because if you go to library, there is 1,000 books. Where do you start? You know? You need only what you need right now, what is effective to you right now to progress forward. This way you're going to save a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of money too. And a lot of energy as well. So don't camp on it either. Even if you don't understand, there is a saying that you need a burning desire for freedom. You need a burning desire for freedom. Because that burning desire for freedom will ensure that you will not get stuck, that you will look for freedom, that you will look for something higher. And my duty is to accelerate your evolution. Is to accelerate your evolution. Because if you come and listen one sentence and that's enough for you for a year, well, you choose your own speed. You might need a couple of lifetimes.
I remember what you said in one of the videos, that an average person gains only 6 points in levels of consciousness during a lifetime.
5, to be more precise, yes. That was true about 30 years ago. 30 years ago, all the way, it's true that a person would evolve only 5 points at the levels of consciousness in a lifetime. That was true 30 years ago, but now things have changed so much that now we are at the beginning, at the very beginning of accelerated evolution as humanity. And that will be an exponential evolution. You know, it starts slowly, 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 then it starts picking up. So now it's starting to pick up. And in a couple of years, in 2 to 5 years, it's going to hit another milestone, it's going to jump. And when it reaches that bit, then it's going to shoot up. In a matter of couple of decades, everything can be rewired and changed exponentially in terms of consciousness, evolution, and realization of the whole galaxy and universe the way it is. It changes the fourth dimensional past and future too. So you're healing, not only deconditioning yourself to be more in the now, you're healing your past and future too. And you're healing not only your own past, but the past of your whole family tree and all the countless of souls that you have interacted also in the past. The event happened, but the mental, psychological output, that is conditional. The event has happened. So let's say you broke up with your ex-partner. So it happened that yes, your life has shifted and you broke up from the relationship. But the mental, psychological residue of that event, that is all conditional. What does it mean? How much did you hurt each other? And that is what's being healed.
Kind of the linear.
Yes.
But
And in a non-linear way, yes, that event has happened, but all the meaning of it, all the story behind it, all the emotional, mental traumas of it, all of that is healed, wiped away.
And then this is why we change the linear kind of the future.
Yes, exactly. So you will not get the same kind of relationship anymore because you will heal the emotional, psychological trauma, and suddenly you will have a relationship on a completely different vibration.
Sorry if I'm interrupting.
You're changing the linear and the non-linear.
Yes, exactly, yes. So the future becomes not linear, it's a vortex. You live now on a higher vibration of the vortex.
But if a man and a woman broke up from each other, from their relationship, I mean, the story has been written.
The story has been imprinted in your system and their system.
It becomes a relief then.
You know, you can call it...
Maybe it's how...
You see, the event has happened, but the story has been written, but it can be rewritten and healed and released.
That's true.
Yes. The event and the story are different things. The event took place, but the story of it is completely different thing. That's the psycho-emotional residue of what a person is carrying right now of event of the past.
I think it's what we have been accustomed to think.
What you have been conditioned to think, yes.
That events happen
And you give a meaning and the whole story to that event.
And you can't change it anymore. That's
Who
what
says
we
so?
have accustomed.
Who says so?
That's what we have learned from society.
Yeah, you learn that you can't change the event, but not the story of it, and nobody told you that. So that's the big difference.
You learned to, how it was.
So what happens that, for example, before I was born, I already planned my entrance into this earth. Before I was born, already the wheel of karma in the family tree started to accelerate. And there were things happening before my birth to indicate that the wheel of karma is going to change the whole family tree. And after my awakening, returning back to the natural state, the whole family tree has changed. The whole karmic stuff, a lot of things have happened for parents and relatives to heal the karma of the whole family tree. So there was a the history has been rewritten. And the present is lived differently, and the future will not be the same as it was set in motion. So I will tell you also one thing about the future. So let's say tomorrow is gonna rain. If you don't know, and if you come out with a shirt and flip-flops, and suddenly a storm comes and a really cold wind blows and it rains, and you are somewhere far away where you can't get the bus, you get cold and sick and you come back and you say, what a bad karma. And then for the other person who is living in the now, they will have a look at the weather forecast and, oh, it's gonna rain. Okay, I'm gonna take umbrella with me, I'm gonna take a coat. And maybe I shouldn't go too far because it's gonna rain and it's gonna be bad weather. And then you suddenly catch a bus, go back home, and maybe you went with your friends and had some fun. And you see the difference between these two events. The rain came, but your reality was completely different. Between getting sick and not getting a bus back home, to meeting some friends, having fun, umbrella, coat, going back home, and the day was beautiful. The event was the same. But your experience of all of it was completely different. And this is how the past and future is working. It's neither linear. Certain things are destined. Certain things that your soul has planned. But only certain things that your soul has planned. They are destined, they will happen because that is the mission of the soul. But all the rest, which is 99.9%, is your choice and your capacity to live, whether in conditioned way and suffering way or in complete joy and happiness. And that is the self-mastery. This is how you create your own reality. So there is a huge difference of how life is lived.